Dang, man, about time. We back. Been on the delay. Welcome to another episode of No Anonymity Podcast. You know what it is. You know my name and what I do. Listen to the music. This is what the show all about. Let's go, Cairo.
No anonymity. I'm here to talk the truth and try to spread a little change. Educate your mind, you know, food for your brain. We all want change. In these dying days, the streets at rage. For the youth must pray. I ain't got time for y'all to tell me nothing. Cats be frontin', that's when you know they know nothing. It's a new world order, so fall in line. Sometime if you listen, it can open your eyes. This your brain on drugs. Let's explain what was, how some get targeted, dragged through the mud. It's our conversation, we just talking the facts. And to those with opinions can reply to that. And I reply you back, but that's besides the fact. It's like time for the show, let's get your mind intact. We can all conversate and lay out facts. It's the No Anonymity Podcast. Let's go.
Let's go. Welcome. I know it's been a minute, long time. We back now. We got a special guest in the building. She's going to talk to y'all about why it's so important to be a homeowner. Introduce yourself, young lady.
Hello, my name is Elahi. I'm the coldest realtor in the hottest state of Arizona. I'm actually a real estate broker. I've been helping home buyers, home sellers, and investors close deals since the year 2000. So I've been in this game for about 25 years, even though I'm only 37 years old.
Okay. And what made you want to get into helping people become homeowners?
That's a good question. I kind of fell into it. I was actually living nearby a real estate school, and I just dropped in, maybe the universe guided me there. So I dropped in and I started going over some of their material, and I said, you know what, I can do this. And I actually fell in love with it. So I'm still here.
Okay. So we're going to get into it, especially with the cost of living, and not just this state, but across the country.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to talk to the people about, because a lot of people have a lot of fear about buying homes. They don't know, should they stay renting? But renting, you can look at it as throwing away money or saving money. But why do you think it's important for people to even consider buying a home?
Well, first of all, we all have to live somewhere, right?
Correct.
And no matter where we're living, we're paying for a roof over our head. And if we're paying rent, we're paying someone's mortgage. So why not purchase your own home, create your own wealth, create equity, have something to pass along to your children if you need to. And most of all, the most important thing is that rent increases. When I rented my first apartment, my rent went up every 6 months. Every 6 months. That was back in the day. My first apartment was like $445 a month, right?
Wow.
Every 6 months, rent increased. So when I bought my first house, this was years ago, it was like $75,000. I had an $800 mortgage payment. It did not go up unless there was an increase in property taxes. So I would say save your money, invest in yourself.
There you go. What are some of the trends you're seeing in the housing market now?
Some of the trends. Well, right now, I'm speaking from sense of living in Arizona. Mm-hmm. So prices are dropping slightly. So right now, I would consider us to be in what's called a buyer's market. So what does that mean, right? So let's say you're a homeowner, you're out shopping for a home. Because there's so much inventory on the market, because there are so many sellers trying to push their home out for sale, you have more of a chance to negotiate what we call concessions. Concessions are what a seller will give a buyer to purchase their home. For example, if you're buying a home and the roof needs to be fixed, the seller can say, yes, no, I'll fix it, or I'll give you the money. So as a home buyer right now in a buyer's market, you can ask for seller concessions.
Wow.
Sellers will pay your realtor's commission. All you have to do is ask. That's a trend I'm seeing right now because we're in a buyer's market.
Oh wow, okay. So before, just like 6 months ago, this was a seller's market, correct? Or maybe a year ago, this was a seller's market.
Yeah, it's been a rough 35 months in real estate. But yeah, it was previously a seller's market, but right now, fourth quarter, going into fourth quarter of 2025 is definitely a buyer's market.
Okay. For a first time homeowner or somebody seeking to purchase a home, what advice would you give them, and where should they even start? Like a lot of people like, oh, I need to save $1,000. I'm gonna go try to get me a home. Like, I don't think it worked like that, but who am I? So what would you tell those people for the first time homeowners?
So I would tell first time homeowners, like if you're in Arizona, call T. That's the first thing I would say.
Okay.
Do your homework, do your homework. Find, everybody knows a realtor. Find a realtor. A realtor can guide you to a loan officer, a mortgage company, a bank. The first thing I would say for a first time home buyer is to get qualified. Find out how much house you can buy. So here in Arizona, the average cost of like a 2-bedroom home for rent is about $1,700, right? So if you qualify, if you can pay $1,700 in rent, you may be able to qualify for a mortgage in Arizona. So I would say the first thing to do is to get pre-qualified and find out what your buying power is. And if you don't qualify, then a good realtor will hold your hand until you are able to qualify.
Okay. Now, one of the myths that I hear about the credit score, clarify this for me. Do you need to have a 650, 620, 600? Some people say, oh, you could do it with a 550. Really? What is the score that you need for somebody? But if I came to you and my credit score is 420, what you gonna tell me? Can you help me?
If your credit score is 420, I would, tell you gently that let's work on increasing that score. Okay. The best score to have, to at least be in the running to qualify, is about 620. There are some loan programs where your credit score can be 580, but 620, if you want the best interest rate that the mortgage companies have to offer, my recommendation with a credit score, it would need to be over 700. But 620 will get you in the door.
It'll get people like, okay, I'll look at you. Now, say if I wanted to, does that depend on the area? Like, I might have a better chance of getting something in Apache Junction opposed to Scottsdale with a 620 or below that. You know what I mean? Or is just a flat score for all areas?
Credit score across the board, from Arizona to Florida, you need to have a credit score of 620.
Okay.
At least, yeah.
Okay. Now, how do you determine like the let's see, how can I say, like the best value? Say I've got a 620 and I want a home that's 450. How do I determine if that's something viable for me? Like, I won't drown in it, because you got a lot of buyers. They just want to get people. They don't care about the end result. They just want that fast commission, and that's it. Do you take your time with your clients and you really guide them through the whole process and give stone advice, like, hey, you only make this certain amount, you need to be looking at this type of house, this area, you know what I mean? Do you do that?
Of course, I educate my buyers and I educate my sellers. Yeah. Okay. As a matter of fact, I do classes at the Greater Phoenix Urban League and Chicanos por la Casa, because I do like to educate home buyers and home sellers. But when purchasing, it's not just about the credit score. So there has to be an income, right? There has to be an income. And your income, your credit score, all of that taken into consideration, it will give us what you actually qualify for. Okay. So in order to qualify, you definitely got to talk to a qualified lender. and I would reach out to a realtor that you trust to put you in communication with a qualified lender, because you just don't want someone to just run your credit and and not really help you. Like if they see you have a credit score of under 600, they might push you under the rug and might not want to work with you ever again.
Okay.
So when I see people that have low credit scores, I hold their hand, keep in touch, and put them on a plan. Like, you need to pay off this credit card to increase your score, or you need more credit.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's credit score and income that determine what you qualify for, how much house you can buy.
Got you. Now, say I got the income, but I don't have the credit score. Can I still purchase a home? Say I got the 420 credit score, but I got 100,000 stack. Can I? Some people don't know, not smart about their finances. Can I still go and purchase a home?
Well, I would say use some of that money that you have to pay down debt to increase the credit score. It's very challenging to find a home at least in Arizona, under $100,000.
Wow.
Unless maybe purchasing a manufactured home.
Okay.
But I would say, instead of using all of that money as a down payment, work on your credit, get the credit up.
Okay. Now, what's a smart down payment? I hear people saying, like, when I was married, we had to put down, I think it was $4,000. I know it's probably way past that now. Is 10,000 too much? Is out of your own pocket? Like, what's a smart number to put down on a house? Does it depend on the total price of the house, or what?
It does. So it depends on the loan program that you're using. So since you mentioned first-time home buyers, with first-time home buyers, they typically are using FHA, which is backed by the federal government. So when you're using government loans, the down payment is not as high as a conventional loan that doesn't have government backing. So with FHA loans, the down payment is 3.5% of the sales price. So just for example purposes, if you're buying $100,000 house, you're putting down $3,500 plus closing costs.
Plus the closing costs. Okay.
Plus the closing costs.
Okay. Wow.
And the closing costs are things that get you closed. For example, in Arizona, you have to pay your property taxes. So you pay that. That's tied into closing costs. You have to pay for title fees. If you purchase a house, you want to make sure that there's no cloud on title. Like if you go buy a car, you want to make sure that once you pay that car off, only your name is on it, nobody else's. So similar to purchasing a home, you want to make sure you have clear title on the house. Right. So there's a fee for that, and that fee is tied into closing costs.
Okay. What about the home inspection? Is that the buyer's or seller's responsibility to do that?
Typically, it's the buyer's, because it's for the buyer's benefit.
Okay.
So let's say we're out home shopping, you find a house that you want to make an offer on. One of the things that I would immediately do after your offer is accepted by the seller is order inspections. There's a termite inspection that I will order.
Okay.
There's a home inspection. But, we look at the electrical, the plumbing. If there's a pool, we do a pool.
AC unit.
AC unit is big.
Out here.
Huge in Arizona. That's a big thing. I'm working with a seller right now, as a matter of fact, in Levine, Arizona.
Okay.
And I actually sold her that house like 20 years ago. So she's selling the house, and the AC unit went out. So the buyer wants her to replace that entire joint. It's expensive.
Yeah.
It's expensive. So if you're a homeowner in Arizona and you're thinking about selling your house, I would recommend making sure you service that AC unit annually, because if that thing breaks down, we're talking 10 grand or more just to replace it.
Right. 10 grand or more just to replace it. Right.
Yeah.
Now, I'm asking you a question. I don't want to get you in trouble, because I know you're part of this, you're part of the game of helping people buy homes. Are HOA fees a scam?
Are they a scam?
Are they a scam? Is it criminal to charge people to park on the street? I used to give out HOA violations. Let me tell
Yeah.
you a quick little story. And if they wanted to park on the street, they had to pay like they were parking in a freaking parking garage,
Hmm.
like extra. I'm like, what type of, you know? So in some cases it could be good because you don't want your neighbor to have a yard full of junk, 20 cars on the, you know. But some of the fees are just don't make any sense.
Well, this is the thing. Every HOA is run differently,
Mm,
but if someone doesn't like how the HOA is being run,
mhm.
go start going to the meetings, speak up, get on the HOA board, and help manage the HOA. Is it a scam? I don't think so. Yeah, I look at it like this. Years ago, I sold a house, and this house was in an area that did not have an HOA,
Mm,
right?
okay.
So when you do not have HOA, no rules, no regulations, well, you have to follow city laws, right?
Right.
But do you know what the Phoenix Suns colors are?
Yeah,
The
the
basketball team?
the purple and yellow or something like that.
Right. Would you paint your
Yeah.
house that color?
Heck no.
You sure?
I'm sure. I'm sure. But I understand the individuality. You want to, you want. He
Yeah.
painted his sons the Phoenix Suns theme colored.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow,
So
he's a true
the house
fan.
was purple. The trim was like that bright orangey color,
Wow. Okay.
um, and it was loud. It was a very
Mm,
loud color. There was another neighborhood where I was showing homes, and someone had painted their garage door. Now, I'm not saying, don't be creative,
yeah.
but someone had painted their garage door like LV, like the Louis Vuitton logo, all over the garage door.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
So when you're living in an HOA, things like that are regulated.
Yeah.
Some people may consider that an eyesore. I consider
Hmm.
it creativity. I'm not the judge, but
Right.
if you don't want to live in an area where things can get that creative, then maybe an HOA is the place for you. But they do regulate things like paint color. They make sure that your landscaping is within code. Like you can't have a dead tree in your yard. You know,
Okay. Yep.
you have
Yep.
to
Yep. I
maintain
remember those.
everything. So
Hmm.
things like that, I think are important. When you come home, that's home where you lay your head. You want to feel good.
Right.
So you
Yeah.
may not want to look at a Louis Vuitton garage door.
Exactly. What? That's that. I don't want to say ghetto, but yeah. What's some common mistakes you see buyers and sellers make?
Ooh, so I'm working with a lot of sellers right now. So I'll start with my sellers. So
Okay.
so imagine this is your property, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, we as humans, we get attached to our belongings. We get attached to our things. And a lot of mistakes I see sellers making is not being realistic about the actual value of their property. So if I come along and say, hey, I've looked into the market, I've run what's called the comps or comparable sales, and houses like yours are selling for $500,000.
Mm,
And I've had sellers say, no, my house is worth way more than that. I've added all these wonderful upgrades. And an appraiser may give you, more value for certain upgrades, but you don't want to overvalue your property unless you plan on staying there for a very long time. So that's the first mistake sellers make is they overprice their home. When you overprice your home, it's going to sit on the market a little longer, right?
mm-hmm.
And the second thing I see the sellers mistake that sellers make is not making the house viewing ready. Like
Right.
we all have different tastes, different
Mm-hmm.
styles. If you're putting your house on the market, remove pictures, clean, store things so people don't look at your personal possessions,
Right.
and heavy on the clean.
Heavy on the clean.
Heavy
Exactly.
on clean up, and not only clean up, but make the home smell fresh, um,
Hmm.
make it look aesthetically pleasing. If it's not vacant, maybe if it is vacant, maybe stage it so someone can see what it would look like for a bed to sit in this room.
Yeah, because yeah, people are visual. They want to be able to see
Yeah.
things. And just from me watching HGHT, what I recall it. Is it HGTV?
GT.
Wow. Yeah, I watch that a lot. A lot of people walk into a place and they say, oh, I don't like the wallpaper. I don't like this. They don't come in there like visual, putting their own spin on it. They judging it for what it is like right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And buyers do make that mistake. I have taken buyers on tour of homes, and they say, no, that wallpaper or paint color doesn't work for me. And that's why I
Yeah,
say,
you like
"Hey,
what?
take it down.
Yeah, take it down. You can paint
Repaint.
that. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you like the layout, let's put a little elbow grease in here and make some changes.
right. What are some of their number one? Well, I kind of know this question, but I'm gonna have you answer it anyway. What is the fastest growing part of Metro Phoenix area right now?
The fastest?
Yes,
Like this whole place is on fire.
it's on fire, right? Because you
Yeah.
remember you remember 5 6 years ago, Buckeye was nothing.
Buckeye.
Now it's crazy out there.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Okay,
Um,
Santan, same way. Santan Valley, same
the
way.
East Valley, I mean, it's growing outward.
Mm-hmm.
Maricopa, the South
Maricopa,
Valley is
yeah,
growing. The West Side, I would say, is growing particularly fast,
right,
because we have several plants that have come into the valley. We have a chip plant, so Buckeye, Surprise area. Those areas are just rapid amounts of growth.
right. Yeah, I love that West Side area for some reason. It just feels so for people that live here. They probably notice like it got a certain energy about it. Like,
Mhm.
but when you come over here to Chandler and stuff, it's kind of like slow
Oh,
and
don't say that. So, the the East Valley, it's just been built up a little bit longer. The West Valley is booming. Everything
yeah.
is pretty new.
It just reminds me of like the city. You see people out walking in the park, like
Mhm.
on the west side here. It's like where everybody be at, like in the house hibernating. Like oh, it's more. I don't want to say younger, but it's more. It's got a certain vibe to it over there. Like from because I'm from New York, so I'm used to that. Seeing people outside, they doing stuff. You know what I mean? When you come on this side of town, it's like shady, shady acres.
Oh wow, where you living?
Shady acres.
Can't be that bad.
Mm-mm.
Arizona has a lot of entertainment. Like the West Valley, where the football stadium is, the Cardinal
Right.
Stadium.
Hmm.
They're building that futuristic, tech savvy resort.
Yeah, that
Called
water park thing they building over there.
Water Park. It's going to be
Yeah.
a place for concerts. It's
Hmm.
gonna be it's gonna be hot.
Now, for people that might be trying to move here, because a lot of people move from other places that's moving here. What
Mm.
would be some of the best parts for them to be looking for, to purchasing a home? If you were talking to a family, they called you, they would say, "Hey, I want to move there. I just don't know what area. What area would you tell them to look at first?"
Well, it's preference, right?
Hmm.
So my first set of questions would be, okay, well, where do you work? How close do you want to be in relation to your job? Are you okay driving 30, 45 minutes?
Hmm.
Where do you want your kids to go to school? Is there a certain school district? Where your family, like, do you have family here? Do you want to be close to family? Do you want to be close to, really close to a hospital or close to entertainment? So I
Hmm.
would start there, and then we would figure it out from there.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that would make sense. If they're a family man, supposing them being somebody young, they might want to be in the Tempe area, close to that Mill Ave, that
Yeah.
type of action, something
Mhm.
like that. Okay.
Yeah. Or the
A lot of
West Valley by Gateway.
yes, Gateway is popping out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of stuff out there. Now for we're going back to the first time homeowners. Is there any special like financing that or purchasing power that can help people?
There's always some form of down payment assistance for
Hmm.
first-time home buyers. They're FHA loans, loans backed by the government, right?
Right.
Um, so with down right now with down payment assistance, I would say if you don't have, or I would say if you have very little money to put down, go for it, use down payment assistance. But just being completely transparent, the interest rates with down payment assistance are a little bit more, and I would talk to a licensed loan officer about that. But if you absolutely need down payment assistance to get in, by all means, as long as I've been in this business, there's always been some form of down payment assistance to help first time home buyers get into a house. And when you talk about first time home buyers, I know you said you yourself purchased a home before. If you no longer own a home,
Hmm.
you become a first time home buyer again.
Oh wow.
And
Okay.
you can
Nice.
utilize down payment assistance,
Okay.
right?
Now is HUD still a thing? I remember it used to could go and they would give you credit if you came and helped, at least in New York.
Hmm.
Lay foundation or hammer something in the is that
Yeah,
still a thing?
like sweat equity, stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Is
Not,
that still a thing?
not currently in Arizona that I am aware of. However, there's a program here that I work with called NACA, NACA,
Okay.
and NACA. Um, their NACA is a good program to go through if you have patience because NACA does not require you to have a credit score. Um,
Really?
Yeah, your purchasing power is just based strictly on income, right?
Okay.
Um, but with NACA, you do have to take like a class, like an
A
8 hour
class.
class. Yeah,
Yeah.
because they want to
Okay.
teach you about, the benefits of home ownership. They want to discuss budgeting. Because a lot of times, if you've never owned a home before, and you're accustomed to renting,
Hmm.
have to understand that if something breaks, you have to pay out of pocket to fix it. You can't call the landlord.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to pay out of pocket for that. So, what I normally do is with my buyers, I ensure that when they purchase, I add a home warranty, and the home
Okay.
warranty is good for 1 year. So if you have an issue with the home, you call the home warranty company. Like say for example, your garbage disposal goes out, you call the
Hmm.
warranty company. You pay a deductible of like $75, $100, and they come out and they replace it. And then once the home warranty expires, I recommend getting it again.
Okay. Keep it.
Keep it, unless you're handy and you can fix things yourself. Yeah.
Right. So I think that's like one of the major fears with people is if things go bad. Like I can't fix this. If how am I gonna put a light bulb in if the light bulb goes out? Now somebody actually told me that. I think I had that conversation the day I had stopped somewhere and they asked me to come over. And I said, "No, I got to go do this show." And
Mhm.
we were talking about. They asked me what it was, and I told them. He said, "Oh, I would never buy a home." I'm like, "Why?" She was like, "What if the light bulb go out and I got to change the light bulb?" I'm looking like, "What?" So people really do have a fear of like doing some of this. They want to convenience. They rather call downstairs or wherever, and the maintenance guy come over and fix it. So a lot of
Mhm.
people have a fear of like being doing it yourself.
And I get it. I get it. I'm single, so I when things go wrong, I call the home warranty company, or I have to pay contractors to fix things. So I get it. Totally understand where she's coming from. But I mean, at the end of the day, you have to decide what's most important. Do you want home ownership, or do you want the benefit of a landlord? And the
Right.
thing is, rent goes up, up,
Mm.
up. It goes up. I've never known rent to go down ever. You?
It's criminal what they doing right now. You said you were single. The guys are about to be at your. You lucky we're not doing a live show. This is pre-recorded. They would be hitting that chat like crazy. I've seen it before. That's kind of funny.
Yeah. Okay.
Give me your predictions for the next 5 years in this home market. Will people be priced out of buying homes? Will it take? Because I'm gonna tell you a trend I'm seeing. When I used to do right around doing the HOA violations, I used to see 8 and 9 cars in the driveway, and I'm like, and these are affluent areas too that I'm doing them in, and I'm like, I know this guy don't have all that, but you know what it was? It was families living together. It was husband and wife, kids, and they all chipping in, paying on this, paying the mortgage and stuff. And I'm like, they even had the big what those things called, the fifth wheels parked in the driveway, and
RV.
families living in that. So do you see people really getting priced out of being able to afford a home in the next 5 years or
I mean,
shorter?
it's possible. I mean, yeah. I mean, when I bought my first house, it was $75,000. That house right now is worth like 400. So I mean, it's possible. So I tell people, instead of waiting for interest rates to drop, buy what you can now. And when interest rates do drop, refinance to save yourself a few bucks per month. But like one of the trends that I see now in Arizona is actually pretty cool. So they have what's called next generation homes. I don't know if you've heard of that, but
No, I haven't.
well, basically it's like the main house, and then connected to the main house is a 1-bedroom studio or apartment with a full kitchen, full bedroom, laundry room. It can be used like as a mother-in-law suite. You can put your college kid there.
Okay.
But a lot of next generation homes are being built out here and all over the valley. So I see that. Another trend is like the smart homes. Lots and lots of smart homes where like you can open your garage with your cell phone, smart cameras, smart thermostats. Now the builders are starting to add those things when
Okay.
they build the houses. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So aren't they building where is Bill Gates purchased something out here? Smart city out in
I think it
not
was guy out
was
that
it
way, out west. Yeah, I've heard about that. Yeah.
yeah, they're supposed to be building like 10,000. They just put 10,000 homes out in Maricopa. Like it's crazy.
Mhm.
10,000. Well, you've been out there,
Yeah, and they
And
have
they
that freeway coming in too.
yeah, and they just built what is it called? Restaurant Row out there in
Mm,
Maricopa.
I wasn't aware. I
Yeah,
have to.
they got a thing called Restaurant Row with a whole bunch of restaurants and all that stuff coming out there.
Mm.
But I personally I like Avondale. I like Avondale and I like Gilbert. I love those two places.
Okay, so those are two different parts of the valley.
Yeah, I think I told you before. I like Morris Ranch, Lakeview Trails.
Oh yeah,
God, but
that's
those
nice.
houses I think they start at like what 600,000 or something like that.
You got it.
Y'all come subscribe to the show. I'll have it. Come on, stop playing with me.
Yeah, those are nice actually. Get a
Yeah,
little boat and
yeah,
canoe out in your backyard. Yeah, those
yeah.
are nice.
Oh, and the lakes in Gilbert. That's a pretty area over there as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, I like that. So for somebody who's trying to purchase a home, how can they reach you and where can they reach you at? Where's your social media handles, please?
So www.azhomesbyt.com. That's my website.
Hmm.
Or, just call me 602-768-7648. My Facebook page, all my social media is T the AZ Realtor.
Okay. And
I
I'm gonna link all of those things in the description so somebody out there that might want to not blow their income tax on a on a used Audi with 200,000 miles on it this year might start thinking smarter and want to buy a home.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's a few of you out there who that I know personally. Blow 10 G's on a foreign car. I have no idea, but you ain't got nowhere to park it.
Mm.
You know. It's time to start, getting into the purchasing power of being a homeowner.
Yeah, purchase and not rent. Um, there's one other trend that I am seeing in Arizona. I'm not sure if they're doing this in other cities, but new construction homes are building brand new, beautiful homes that are for lease only. So
Really?
you can never purchase it. It's for lease. And, I'm big on purchasing. I would hate for America to turn into a place where everyone is just renting, because the market has actually priced you out. So
Yeah.
buy now, get in where you fit in. If you have to put your parents and your kids on the mortgage to qualify, buy something now while you have the opportunity. Don't let the rate scare you. Just
Right.
dive in and become a homeowner.
Mm-hmm.
You
Become a
know,
homeowner. That's right.
on your
That movie, what is it, Ready Player One? Nobody owned anything, everybody rented. It was crazy.
Mhm.
Everybody was renters in the movie, but it's a sci-fi. I'm a sci-fi nerd, sci-fi geek, so I watch stuff like that.
Right on.
But hey, I see it ain't even take that long. Look at that. Oh, one other thing I want to tell you.
Yeah.
Container homes, or they call them shipping container homes. I first saw them in Vegas. They were beautiful. And I was
Mhm.
talking to the guy. I said, how you do that? He said, you just order the empty shipping containers and you can design it any way you want. He said, like at a fraction of the cost of like, a brick and mortar that's out now. But they were pretty homes though. Are
Mhm.
you selling any of those? You showing any of those?
I am not. So with those, you have to, like, let's say you're gonna put it somewhere. You have to, right now in Arizona, you have to get a permit to put them somewhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it has to be permitted. So you have to reach out to the city and say, "Hey, I have this tiny home and I want to plop it here." Because
Right.
government has to get their property taxes. Come on.
Yeah, they got to get their cut on everything. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Now listen. Now, does SRP frown upon people putting the solar panels on their homes?
SRP, Salt River Project Electric Company.
Yeah.
I don't think so. No, I work with a lot of sellers that do the solar panels. You can purchase them or you can lease it. It just depends. But frown
Okay.
upon, no. And actually, I would talk to your CPA, your tax guy, because a lot of times when you do the solar panels, you can get like a tax deduction for the year. A tax,
Right.
excuse me, a tax credit. Yeah.
Right. Okay. I mean, you would think us living out here in Sunshine State that we would have those everywhere. Even the street lights should be ran off of them. But
Because we have so much sun, right?
I guess they can't charge people for the sun. Sun is free. I don't know. Like you said, they gotta get their cut somehow, some way.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So again, I'm gonna put our social media handles in the bottom of the screen or on the when you go to click on the rewatch this program, and you can get in touch with one of the number one sellers in the state of Arizona. Doing her thing. I appreciate you for stopping by. Thank you so much.
Having
We've been
me.
going, yeah. Well, we're gonna try to go like it's 38. Try to go like 40 more minutes. You got anything else you want to add to this right quick?
I would tell people do their homework, get your credit right, and call
Mm-hmm.
me.
There you go. Get a 620. Get a six. It's not too hard to get a six when you just get a credit card, right? Use it, pay on it, use it, pay on it, and then
Yeah, you need at least
eventually.
three trade lines, three credit trade lines. And I,
Okay.
I know I know lenders who help with credit repair, if you will. So
Mhm.
we got help for that too.
Okay, you got help for okay, okay.
Hmm.
Nice. Oh, one more thing I want to say. Are you seeing it? Who's buying more homes? Is it more families? Is it more single women? Is it single men? Who's doing all the purchasing of these homes right now? Or
That's
you
a
see?
good question. That I work with, I would say
Hmm.
it's a balance between investors and single women.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fellas, we gotta step our game up.
Step it up.
Man. And you know what's crazy? That's the same thing with when you look at the educational who's receiving more diplomas. You say, is it men or women? It's women. What we doing? What the men doing out here?
Well, I'm gonna give you men a break. Maybe working more. I don't know. Maybe.
Mm, mm. That's a whole nother show right there. We'll have to get into that a little bit later with that one. But
Yeah.
thank you for stopping by. Right? I appreciate you. And you're welcome to come back here anytime. And hopefully you get some leads off this. You will for sure.
Well, I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Until next time, we'll holla at you, all right?
Bye bye.
Peace. Yeah. Out for tuning in, watching the show. I've been gone for a while, but we about to get back to it, back to doing our thing. Thank our special guests for coming in, checking out the show. I'm going to link all her contact information in the description so you can reach out to her, purchase you a home, especially if you're thinking about moving to the great state of Phoenix, Arizona. Love y'all. Keep watching the show. Keep supporting the show. Keep rocking with your boy. We're going to do some big, exciting things. I've been running. I've been getting in shape, getting my mind right, body right. And until next time, peace and love. All right?
Sometime if you listen, it can open your eyes. This your brain on drugs. Let's explain what was. How some get targeted, dragged through the mud. It's our conversation, we just talking the facts. And to those with opinions can reply to that. And I reply you back, but that's besides the fact. It's like time for the show, let's get your mind intact. We can all conversate and lay out facts. It's the No Anonymity Podcast. Let's go. No anonymity, no anonymity. Podcast. No anonymity, no anonymity. Podcast. No anonymity, no anonymity. Podcast.